back. This is Refined by Fire podcast, and I want to give you the faithful Fire-Filled Friday message. As we dive into this week's message, I want to reflect on a powerful truth found in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 through 23. Paul talks about the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And the one I want to talk about today is self-control. Now, here's a question for you. Why did Paul include self-control in this list? Let's be honest, most of us, if we could change ourselves by our own behavior modification, we would try to. And before Saul fell, he was actually pretty good at self-control. Now, Saul had zeal, misguided zeal, but he had zeal and passion. And what he was doing was trying to become perfect by following the law. And he was blameless by the law. Yet he was deeply guilty in his heart. And the Bible even says in Acts chapter 7 through 9, it says, "Why do you kick against the goads?" Now, goads, they were used on the front of chariots so that the horse wouldn't kick back. They were sharp instruments that would keep the horse from kicking back. I personally believe that through the stoning of Stephen, Saul felt deeply guilty. He was deeply impacted by what he had done. So things in his heart were just stirring up. And we see in Acts 7 through 9 that Jesus is saying, why do you continue to kick against the goads? Now, shortly after that, we know what God did with Saul, knocked him off the horse, transformed in a moment. But the struggle was still there. The bad habits, the desires of his heart were still there. For you personally, is there procrastination? Is there bad habits? Is there temptation that creeps in unnoticed? Those things are common to man. It's because we are fighting in a spiritual battle. And I got news for you. If you're fighting in the flesh, you're going to lose every single time. But if you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. You walk in the Spirit, you'll have power. In fact, the Bible even says the flesh is weak, but the Spirit is willing. Matthew chapter 26, verse 41. And we often hear from the world, be disciplined, be better. But God's invitation is so much more powerful than that. Jesus himself says, "Abide in me and I abide in you." John chapter 15, verse 5. Self-control is not something you simply manufacture on your own. It's not a formula to follow. It's not behavior modification. It is a fruit of the Spirit, a fruit that grows in your life through simple obedience to Christ. And I say simple because it's not burdensome. Following God is not burdensome. Most people in their walk say, man, I got to give up these things. Well, God changes hearts, and you no longer want those things anymore. You realize that those things are unprofitable for you and your life. And the question soon becomes, why would I want those things? When you walk in the Spirit, self-control stops feeling like a burden and begins feeling like freedom. Those chains of bad habits, temptation, and failure, they start breaking. And not through your own efforts, but through your faith. So today, stop striving in your own efforts and start surrendering to Jesus. He is and always will be the author and finisher of our faith. Trust that God will transform you in areas of your life that you couldn't otherwise change. Remember, His strength is made perfect in your weaknesses. His Spirit is at work in you, and you're being refined by the fire. Don't fight the process, surrender to it. And watch God do the impossible. Have a faithful, fire-filled Friday. And if you haven't called out to the Lord Jesus, today is the day of salvation. Call out to Him while you still can. Again, this is Refined by Fire podcast. Have a blessed weekend.